Real combat. Real action. Carnage Media.
Welcome back to another episode of Carnage Unleashed, presented by Carnage Media Pay-Per-View. I'm your host, Clayton Scalina. Joining me today, as always, my amazing co-host, Connor Showtime Smith, Ohio MMA flyweight. Connor, how is everything, man? I heard we're getting some snow back home.
Yeah, it is extremely cold over here. I was trying to put gas in my car today, and didn't even want to get out of the car. It was blowing so hard. But other than that, I mean, I'm doing good. Getting ready for my fight coming up on the 21st. Feel like I'm in the best shape of my life for this fight. Last time we were on here, I talked about how I was rooting for the Packers against the Bears, and they had one of the most historic collapses in playoff history. So, I mean, I've been watching the Packers lose in the playoffs for years now, but it never gets easier, I swear. But the Bears did lose to the Rams last night, so that did help a little bit to ease down that. But other than that, I'm doing great.
Hey, man. At least you're watching your team make the playoffs, bro. I've seen my team make the playoffs twice in my life. We got one win. One. We beat the Steelers in 2020. I'll never forget that day.
Great game, too, that game.
Yeah, bro. Big Ben threw for 500 yards and they still lost. Absolutely incredible. But as football season winds down, we are back in. I feel like MMA season is almost the wrong word, but there's always, especially since they had that deal with ESPN, there's always been a time from about mid-December to about mid-January where we are right now, where the UFC just hasn't put on shows. There's a lot of college football going on, NFL playoffs, that kind of thing. But kicking off the Paramount deal, man, UFC 324 this coming weekend, of course, at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Connor, let's just start with the big one. Top to bottom, how do you think this card looks to kick off a brand new, $7 billion streaming deal?
I love this card. I know a lot of casual fans don't like to look into the prelims as much, but there is great prelim fights on this card as well. You got guys like Umar and Figueiredo on the prelims, which is crazy. Nikita Krylov's back on the prelims. You got Alex Perez down there. Michael Johnson, Alexander Hernandez. That'll be fun. Josh Hockett from the Contender Series is on there. Ricky Tercios. There's great guys on the prelims that I'm excited to watch, but obviously, the big fights on the main card, even with it losing the co-main of Harrison and Nunez, which would have been an incredible fight, it's still, a stacked and loaded main card as well, which I'm very excited for, and I think it's a good one to start the year and start their deal with Paramount.
I completely agree with you there, man. For those of you who haven't heard, if you're living under a rock, I guess, Middletown, Ohio's own Kayla Harrison did end up hurting her neck in training out of her fight with Amanda Nunes. I saw a meme the other day where it was like Juliana Pena offered to step up and fight, but everybody else said no.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants that, bro. I'm 95% of the time, I'm going to back, if I am looking at a fight, don't really care who wins, I'm going to back the American. The one exception to that, bro, is Juliana Pena. I cannot stand her, dude.
No, I get it.
You think you're her and you're not.
She's not at all. Not even close.
Yeah. Granted, she did beat Amanda Nunes. You got to give her props there for sure.
Yeah.
I got a second part to that. Don't worry. But you can't just act like you're the greatest of all time, knowing that realistically, let's be real, that was a fluke loss. 100% on Amanda Nunes' part. That was 100% a fluke loss. It happens in MMA all the time. Welcome to the sport.
Yeah.
So as long as Juliana Pena, we're not opening up the stream with her and her getting destroyed by Amanda Nunes, I think we're off to a good start already.
I agree.
So we might as well started all the fun stuff, right? Down at the bottom. Adam Fugit taking on Ty Miller. Adam Fugit's been around for a minute, man. He's only got 15 pro fights, but it seems like this dude's been in the UFC forever.
Yeah, his name was always popping up around on prelims. I think he's 5 UFC fights, I believe now. So he's fought some guys everybody knows. He's fought Mike Malott. He fought Michael Morales. He's fought some big name guys in the UFC. So he's definitely battle tested when it comes to the UFC exposure. So I think that'll be a fun one to start the card with him and Ty Miller. But I mean, he's got a tough one in Miller. Miller's on a good win streak right now. That dude is undefeated, 6-0 as a pro. So to me, it kind of looks like Fugate's becoming not a layup, but a feeder almost to these young guys. So.
He's a guy that's gonna have a job always until he wants to hang it up or really starts losing. But I mean this as respectfully as possible too. He's getting up there. Adam Fugate's 37 already, which I did not realize until I started doing research for this video. So definitely, I feel like you gotta lean Ty Miller. You really do.
100%. I would definitely lean Miller in this fight. I mean, Fugate's becoming a role player. If this was a football team, he'd be a role player, so he's not going to be a big star, but he will help build guys up, which I think is what's going to happen here. And I believe Ty Miller will get himself a nice little win to start the show.
Couldn't agree more. And kicking up to our second prelim fight, Ultimate Fighter winner, Ricky Turcios. He was away for about a year. We only saw him once. We saw him at the first show in 2025, and then he didn't fight again.
Yeah, he's an interesting one. I like watching Ricky Turcios fight, but it's like he's such a toss-up, I feel like. Like there's so many fights where I felt he was gonna win, and then I was like, oh, okay. He did not win that one. And then there's ones I'd be like, I don't know about this, and then he'd win. So like he's really up in the air. Both, I mean, him and his opponent both, him and Cameron both are coming off 2 losses in a row right now. Both Cameron's losses were decisions, and then obviously Turcios coming off a decision loss, and then that rear naked choke loss to Raul Rosas Jr. So both guys are really looking for a bounce back here. But I don't know who I would lean in this one, just because like both coming off losses. But I think it's safer. The safer bet I would say is Cameron. Just like I said, Turcios is someone I would, if there was money on the line, I wouldn't put it on Turcios just because you never know what's going to happen with that dude. But I think it'll be a good, fun fight. But I think I would go Cameron in this fight over Ricky Turcios.
I agree with that as well, man. He's fought, Ricky Turcios has been, it seems like he's been around for a minute, but he only has like 4 or 5 UFC fights. He really hasn't like been around too terribly long. But that experience does help. 5 fights to Cameron Smotherman's 3, coming off of a loss to Ricky Simone, the other 135 Ricky. That threw me off when I was also doing research.
Yeah.
But I think I gotta lean Cameron Smotherman here. Like this is I'm with you though, bro. Like this is a massive toss-up fight. And it's not like there's a crazy age difference, right? Yeah. I get it for the little guys. It can matter a lot more. I feel like heavyweight, you see, 38 versus 30 relatively often. I feel like that. Especially on the regional scene, you see that a lot.
Oh yeah.
28 to 32 though really isn't that bad. But
that's not bad at all.
The babyface killer, Cameron Smotherman, like come on now, great nickname. That's especially for guys that are like just getting into the UFC. I feel like a really solid nickname is important.
Oh yeah, 100%. That'll get, if people don't really know you yet, you get a nickname that sticks out. They'll remember it just for that reason.
Exactly. So the next time, like everybody's got to fight on the prelims of an Apex card. But did you see that they're renaming the UFC Apex?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna be having fights in the metaverse before we know it, dude. I'm telling you. That's next.
Yeah, sure. It's getting wild. It is getting wild. We're losing the plot.
We're losing the plot, but we are getting seats in the Apex, so I feel like that's a good. I'll take that trade.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
Definitely needed.
Even if it's just like 1,000 people in there, right? Like that small of a space.
It'll get loud. It'll be nice.
Yeah, and that'll make a world of difference.
100%.
But I think we're both going with Cameron Smotherman here.
Yes.
Not a dig on Ricky Turcios, but just the inconsistency.
Yeah,
it's been out for a year. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And moving on up, Josh Hockett versus Denzel Freeman. got the big boys here. I'm gonna be real. Before I looked at the card prior to filming this video, I'd never heard of either of these guys.
Really?
No,
Yep.
I missed the Contender Series this year. It always started at 2 in the morning my time, so there
That's
was
true.
no. Yeah, so I feel
Whoa.
so out of the loop when I see debuted on DWCS last fall, and I'm like, well, you'll have that, I guess.
Well, you need to look into Josh Hotkick. That dude is entertaining when it comes to fighting and on the microphone. That dude is a character through and through, and that's why I'm kind of picking him to win this fight. The UFC knows he's a character. They know this dude will make them some money, so I think they got him a good, solid fight for him to go out and win versus Denzel Freeman here. I said Freeman won a decision in his last fight in the UFC. Before that, he was on LFA. And then obviously Hotkick's coming off of his contender. He had his Contender Series win, and then he had his last fight he won by knockout with the right hook. So, like I said, he's an entertaining fighter, and his character out of the cage, in the cage, on the microphone, it sells a lot. And I know the UFC knows that, so that I think they got a fight where they feel that he will get it done and be able to cut one of his crazy promos on the microphone. So I got Josh in this fight. By finish, too, I'm sure. I think he'll finish this fight.
Hey, there we go. Especially at heavyweight, they're always looking for guys, right? You hear everybody say that. Heavyweight's super thin. Heavyweight's super thin.
Mm-hmm.
They'll help you out if you're a character, man. They'll help try and build you up and make you look good.
100%. And he's one that they're definitely going to want to build up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And moving on up, Michael Johnson, the Menace.
I like this fight.
Hero. That's the one word that I think of when I think of Michael Johnson. This guy is an absolute gamer, bro. You see him fighting all the time. He's damn near 40 years old now.
Yeah.
Crazy. Lot of up and downs though for the Menace. His UFC career, he's 16-15. He's got some pretty good wins if you look at his resume.
He
knocked
does.
out Dustin Poirier, finished Artem Lobov, Andre Fili, gave Justin Gaethje a decent fight. He ended up getting finished, but yeah, that was a hell of a fight. Melvin Gillard, Edson Barboza, Joe Lozon. A lot of guys aren't going to hear about. Connor, what you know about Joe Lozon? What you know about Joe Lozon?
See, he's fought great names from, like you said, that people now they're going to be like, who's that? But come on. He's fought good guys, and whether he wins or not, he puts up great fights. Like you said, he fights everyone all the time. So I'm a big fan of Michael Johnson. I love watching him fight.
Me too. Every time Michael Johnson fights, I'm absolutely going to tune in. But looking ahead here, we got Alexander Hernandez. He's on a 4-fight win streak. And in that time, he beat Chase Hooper, knocked out Chase Hooper. Kurt Holloway, Ultimate Fighter winner. Say what you want about that, but he ended up taking him down, winning a decision. Austin Hubbard, another guy from the Ultimate Fighter, split decision. His last fight, Diego Pereira, back in September, he ended up knocking him out.
Yeah,
like Alexander Hernandez is coming to fight, man. He's kind of. I feel like he's a guy that's kind of turned his career around. Almost,
I was about to say he's on a career resurgence. You know, they were building him up for a while to be the next big guy, and then it looked like that wasn't going to happen. And then he started winning all these fights in a row. I specifically remember the Chase Hooper one because I lost money on that fight. So thanks, Alexander Hernandez, for that. But no, he's been on a crazy run, 4-fight win streak. But Michael Johnson, currently on a 3-fight win streak as well, with a win over Daniel Zellhuber, who I also lost money on that fight as well because I thought Zellhuber was going to win that one. So both these guys notorious for losing me lots of money. So I'm excited to watch this fight. I think I love prelim fights because of stuff like this. There's hidden gem fights like this. This is going to be a fun fight. But ultimately, I am going to go with Alexander Hernandez to get this one done. I could see like a TKO finish. I could see a lot of just being a slugfest really with him and Michael Johnson, just having a fun banger prelim fight. But I think Hernandez will come out with a TKO finish in this fight over Michael Johnson.
This is one where, like you said, a lot of people may kind of skip over it, but as a hardcore myself, I feel comfortable enough in my fandom to say that This fight jumped out to me immediately, man.
It's a good fight.
Michael Johnson's Never Say Die versus Alexander Hernandez fighting for his job to keep his career alive. This is gonna be this is one when we record next Sunday to debrief this card. This is absolutely one I guarantee we'll talk about. 100%. But with that being said, sorry, Mike, I got to go with Alex Hernandez. I also have been a victim of the Michael Johnson inconsistency back in my sports betting days. So I can't do it, man. I've seen too much. I'm also going to go Alexander Hernandez. Probably inside of the distance for sure. And moving up, back to the little guys. We have Alex Perez versus Charles Johnson. Alex Perez's nickname is The Decision, which is you can do that, right? You can make your nickname that, but dude, like this guy's a lot of fun to watch, bro. Very active. Man, he's on a little bit of a losing streak, but I enjoy watching Alex Perez fight for sure.
Yeah. Him and Charles Johnson, I think that's going to be – it's a fun fight at flyweight. I think the more well-known name technically would be Perez just because of the guys he's fought. Like, yes, 4 of his last 5 he's lost, but look the names he's lost to. Alejandro Pantoja. I don't even have to explain that one. Muhammad Makayev, undefeated. Tatsuro Taira, who's probably going to get a title shot here very soon. And then after that, Azus Amabayev, who's also climbing his way up the rankings. So it's not like he's losing to nobody. He's losing to the best of the best. So I feel like Charles Johnson is more of a fight that is winnable for him. So I'm really torn on this one. People do forget Charles Johnson does hold a knockout over the current flyweight champion, Joshua Van. That did happen. The uppercut. I remember that. It was a great finish for him. But so he's 4-1 in his last 5, and then Perez 1-4 in his last 5. That being said, I still think I want to go with I still kind of want to go with Alex Perez in this fight. Just off the experience factor, man. Like I said, I know he's lost those fights, but they're against some of the best that flyweight has to offer, not even just in the UFC, in the entire world. So I think the experience factor will get it done for Perez. And I kind of believe that the name's going to hold strong here. I do see a decision win for Perez over Charles Johnson. I would not be surprised if Charles Johnson catches some kind of crazy shot and puts Perez out, but to play it safe, I'm going to go with the Perez decision over Charles Johnson.
I can't really argue with that for sure. And I owe Alex Perez an apology. I forgot the term former flyweight title challenger when introducing him here. He had that loss. It was kind of quick. We didn't really get to see too much of him, but to Davison Figueiredo back in the day.
Yep.
Back to the present though. Give me Charles Johnson. Give me Charles Johnson. I need an explosive flyweight knockout to kick off the Paramount deal. I think that A, will bring attention to the weight class, and B, that will give them some clicks to start off their new deal. So for no real reason in particular, other than he is coming off of a pretty sick knockout win. Give me Charles Johnson. Let's go. We ready.
Nice.
But moving up, we got Nikita Krylov coming back after his most recent loss. I believe this is his first fight back, correct?
Since his most recent loss,
yes.
He's he's lost to Bogdan Guskov, and then since then this will be his first fight since that loss. Yes.
I did watch his fight with Guskov. That one was on my time. I don't remember exactly where they were. They were in Abu Dhabi. That's right. That was one of the. Gosh, that was a great fight. That was a lot of fun. But Krylov's coming off of 2 straight losses. Guskov, obviously, we just talked about that one. But Dominic Reyes as well. That's another guy though who's kind of rebuilding his career. I feel like he's definitely trending in the right direction now. I feel like I don't know if he'll ever challenge for a title again, but I feel like he's at least kind of moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I think he was getting there, but after the Alberg fight, I think that kind of ruined it for Reyes. Unfortunately, I was rooting for him. I thought it'd be cool to give him, because I still to this day believe, as a lot of people do, that he beat John Jones in that fight. So I would have loved to see him get another shot, but it is what it is.
Somebody had to say it, man. That absolutely needed to come up. Like, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to watch what a robbery looks like, watch GSP versus Johnny Hendricks.
Yep.
And then you go watch John Jones by some divine intervention beat Dominic Reyes. Man, dude, like that was right when I started getting into MMA. That was one of the first title fights I watched. I really thought that Reyes did enough, but 2 out of 3 didn't see it that way.
Disgusting.
But looking to the other side of the cage, we have the Hungarian. I think that's Hungary. No, that's Lithuania. That's my fault. One of those other countries that was on the other side of the Berlin Wall. But the Baltic Gladiator, that's a good one, bro. That is a quality nickname right there.
Yeah, I think this fight, I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be, obviously, I mean, at this weight class, light heavyweights, you're gonna have fun fights. I don't think this one goes to the scorecards at all, but unfortunately, I don't see it going Krylov's way once again. I think he said just had a tough run since he's come back from. I believe he was in the military, wasn't he? Like he had to get sent off.
I believe so.
Duty.
Yeah,
yes.
in Ukraine, he's Ukrainian.
Yes, and then since he's come back, he's 0-2 with 2 knockout losses. So, I kind of see the same thing happening, unfortunately, in this fight here. I think, like I said, it's a light heavyweight fight. It's going to be a lot of striking, and I don't see it going to the judges' scorecards for a decision. I think Krylov is going to lose this fight. I could see another knockout, unfortunately, coming his way, and maybe after this they'll give him something to kind of boost him back up a little bit. But he's just had a tough run since he's been back, and I don't think it gets any easier this weekend.
I think I gotta agree with you there. After watching Krylov get put out twice, he's coming off of 2 knockout losses. Just watching him get put out twice, just kind of the way he lost. I gotta go with Bukauskas.
I think it's Modestas Bukauskas. Yes.
Yes, there we go. Normally we can kind of lean on Zach and make fun of him when he mispronounces the names, but now that he's not here today, bro,
yeah,
we're just gonna struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
But moving up, next fight, we have some middleweights. Ateba Gautier, I believe that's how you say that. He's Cameroonian, 9-1, taking on Andre Pulayev.
I would say so.
Yeah, that's close enough, right? From Russia, 2 athletes, man, just 2 super, super talented athletes, just looking at their records and who they fought. Gautier is coming off of a elbows win, knockout win. And he also knocked out Robert Valentin, who I really enjoyed watching on The Ultimate Fighter. So I'm excited to see him fight again. This will be a good one.
Yeah. If anyone you follow the UFC, you know he is like the boogeyman right now. This dude is smoking everyone. If you look at the odds here, I mean, I'm looking at Topology, so I don't know how accurate it is. He's a -1,000 huge favorite, is what they have him as. To the +265 underdog for Pulayev. So, which I totally agree with, because this dude has the touch of death in his hands. He punches you one time and you go out. And fortunately for him, I believe that's what's going to happen again. I think he's going to get himself another knockout. I think it's going to be a little bit tougher because he does have Pulayev, who I will believe obviously knows what he's getting into here with a guy who has, that one punch knockout power. So I feel like there's going to be a little more grappling going on. We'll kind of stall out the knockout for a little bit, but it's coming. Eventually it's going to happen. And Gautier is going to get himself another knockout and move himself up to 10-1 with a bunch of UFC finishes and really raise his stock even more, I believe.
Yeah, this guy's kind of a monster, right? They must be putting something in the water in Cameroon, bro. Like,
I don't know.
They got Francis Ngannou. They got this guy now. Like,
they all hit hard.
Man. Yeah. It's working in the sand mines, like Ngannou always talks about. But I couldn't agree more. Just with Andre, this is only his 3rd UFC fight too. He lost to Christian Leroy Duncan. Had a couple of decent wins since then, but I cannot pick against the Cameroonian sensation right now. This guy is, he give him 2 years because he's only 23. Let's not forget
Yeah,
that
he's young.
either. He's
Really
and
young.
this is already his 11th pro fight, so it's going to be very interesting to see where he goes from here. But I'm taking him as well. And then moving up, I'll let you take the lead on this one because you and I were talking a little bit beforehand. I feel like you got some words here.
Yeah, so we got Umar Nurmagomedov and Davison Figueiredo at bantamweight. Once the Harrison and Nunez fight got, obviously scrapped and they had to move somebody up into the main card, I thought for sure, this fight will go onto the main card. Well, they did not do that. I think they're leaving it as the featured prelim, which I'm very surprised because that's Davison Figueiredo, who had an incredible run as flyweight champion for a long time. You got Umar Nurmagomedov, who's only lost one time, and that's to Merab in a title fight. And he's got the crazy lineage of the Nurmagomedov name. So it's like, that's a huge fight. So maybe that's why they're leaving it as the featured prelim, just to kind of get eyes in on that. But I think it's a great fight. Like I said, Figueiredo, one of the best flyweights of his time, especially during the COVID era. That dude he put on some crazy fights, especially with, not crazy fights, but crazy beatings on Joseph Benavidez. Those fights were massacres that he did to him. But since he's come to bantamweight, he's 3-2 as a bantamweight. He's kind of had a tough run. Like, his wins are guys you'd expect him to beat. I mean, he beat Cody Garbrandt. I think we all saw that coming. I defeated Cheeto Vera. I think Cheeto is very overrated, so I was not surprised to see that at all. And then he's coming off a split decision win over Montel Jackson. His only 2 losses are technically a TKO loss to Corey Sandhagen. He got a knee injury in that fight. And then obviously losing the decision to the now current bantamweight champion, Peter Yan. So he's kind of had a tough run since he's been at bantamweight, and I don't think it gets any easier going against Umar. I think Umar is going to win this fight. I think it's going to be a lot of grappling. I could see Umar likes to strike more. I will say that Umar does strike a lot more than most. You think of Nurmagomedov, you think of Dagestani, you think no striking. Umar can strike. He's a solid kickboxer. He can strike, but I do believe takedowns are going to be huge for him. Getting down Figgy and kind of holding him down. I assume he's going to be a lot bigger. The Dagestanis, they cut a lot of weight, and Figueiredo used to be a flyweight, so there's going to be I feel a big size and strength discrepancy between these two. But I'm definitely going to go with Umar here to get it done by the Dagestani decision, as always.
Great breakdown there, for sure. He's a minus 1,600 favorite right now. I had to look that up. That is disrespectful. Low key. We're talking about a former champion here. Exactly. Do I think he's going to get it done? Absolutely not. But we are talking about a former champion here.
Davison Figueiredo.
Like, this guy been around forever. Obviously held the belt. He has like 14 or 15 UFC wins.
Yeah.
Like,
the fights he had with Brandon Moreno, they fought like 4 times. They had crazy fights. Like,
and they were all not all of them were good, but most of them were competitive at the very least, except for the last one. That was an eye poke, right? Eye poke or a cut or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but I will say, like, he is going against Umar Nurmagomedov, who gave Merab a great fight. And his fight with Mario Bautista was a lot of fun too. That's one that people stopped talking about towards the end of the year, and that made me a little sad.
That was a fun fight.
Yeah, for sure. But that being said, I am also going to pick Umar. I just think he's more well-rounded. Davison Figueiredo, he's had a little bit of up and down at bantamweight, since he moved up. Yet he had 2 straight losses, rebounded with a split decision over Montel Jackson, but he's running into the Dagestani destroyer. So I am also going to go with Umar in this one.
Yep.
So that concludes the prelims. And I got to ask you, Connor, halfway through, or a little more than halfway through at this point, what is your early pick for prelim of the night? Looking top to bottom, up to down on the prelims, which one come Sunday are people going to be like, man, dude, did you catch that one on the prelims?
I think they're going to talk a lot about. I mean, Umar and Figgy is going to be really good, but I expect that to be good. So I don't feel like that's going to be something like, oh my god, can you believe how good Figueiredo and Nurmagomedov was? Well, yeah, of course I can. They're both really good. When it comes to fights, I'm like, wow, like that's going to be. I think Hernandez and Michael Johnson is going to be an absolute slugfest. Someone's going to get knocked out. I think that's going to be a very fun fight to watch. And then I believe Perez and Charles Johnson will have a very fun fight at flyweight as well. And then obviously Josh Hockett at a heavyweight. Everyone knows him already because of his personality and what he's been putting on. And like I said, I feel he's going to get himself a cool big man knockout and then cut a crazy promo. So one of those three, I think, are going to be the big talking points of the prelims.
Oh, you're killing me. Those were literally. I was looking through the list again. And I was like, okay, if he picks up this one, I'm going here. If he talks about that one, I'm going here. So with that being said, though, I think I'll throw out a finish of the night. This really isn't even that hot of a take, but Ateba Gallier.
Oh yeah.
Like, how can you pick against that one? That's a fight that you guys are going to want to see, ladies and gentlemen. This guy is an absolute monster.
Yeah, that's definitely one you've come to expect, is for him to put somebody's lights out. So.
And moving on into the main card of the evening.
Love this fight.
This is a good one to start, man. We have the almighty Arnold Allen fighting out of the UK and John Lord Silva. Coming off of a super fun fight, dude. I really enjoyed him and Diego Lopez.
I did too. That was a fun one. I'm a huge Arnold Allen fan. I will put that out there. I think he's very underrated, flies under the radar. Arnold Allen is a very fun guy to watch. So him and Silva, I think, are going to be a fun matchup together. But I think this is going to be another case of what happened to Silva last time. He had all this momentum just because of what he was doing. I mean, he had some cool knockouts, cool finishes. He had that ninja choke over Bryce Mitchell. And then they jumped him all the way to Diego Lopez, which proved to be way too big of a jump. So now he's coming back a little bit to someone I still think is too big of a jump. I think Arnold Allen is a lot more well-rounded than Gene Silva, and I think he will get this fight done over Gene Silva. I don't know. The only way I think I could see it being a finish if Silva kind of does what he does against Lopez, and he gets too, now I don't want to say too wild, but too aggressive. Like, he puts himself in bad positions. Either way, I do believe Arnold wins this fight. I think it'll be a very entertaining fight, a great fight to open up the main card. But I'm rocking with Arnold Allen. I mean, he's got a TKO win over Dan Hooker. He beat Calvin Kattar. He's coming off the win over Giga Chikadze. His most recent two losses are to the current BMF champion Max Holloway by decision, and then the undefeated prospect in Movsar Evloev, which was a really fun fight. I remember watching that one. So I think Arnold Allen, again, he flies under the radar. He's very underrated, and I believe he's going to put himself back on the map this Saturday with a win over Gene Silva.
Arnold Allen is one of the more interesting prospects that we have in the sport right now. He's one of those guys who just kind of fell victim to the we don't want to match up Max Holloway and Volk again yet, so we got to put him in there with somebody. And that was the first time I watched his fight completely through. That was in Kansas City. That was a headliner. I was out in the field with Rotzi. I was on top of a hill watching on my phone. Incredible card. Love that. But that win over Giga Chikadze is that's a big win, especially in front of his home crowd. That was in the UK card last summer. It'll be interesting to see. I almost feel like Arnold's 32, and I almost feel like this might be his last chance to kind of establish himself. He's been around for a minute now. He's had some problems with injuries. We didn't see him at all last year in 2025. But looking ahead, I am a big fan of the Fighting Nerds as well. I would like to throw that out there. Just with how different they are. You know, they have a full-time statistician working there. They have a lot of investment going into their gym. And I have a really hard time picking against a dude with a ninja choke, uppercut knockout of Charles Jourdain. He had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun in the Diego Lopez fight. But like you said, I definitely could see a scenario where he's throwing an overhand right and Arnold Allen kicks him in the head. It's over.
Yeah, it's I think if it's a fight or finish for Allen, it's if you let the fight go at Arnold Allen's pace, he'll pick you apart for 3 rounds and beat you by decision. But I feel if Silva tries to play to his pace, which is that, that sporadic, wild pressure style, I feel like that's how Arnold gets a finish. Is just Silva kind of doing it to himself. Is kind of how I see it happening.
Yeah, for sure. But despite that, I'm going to go ahead and pick John Silva because we've agreed way too much tonight, and I want to be different here. So
There we
we are
go.
definitely going John Silva. Fighting nerds are back. Look for the glasses. Moving up to the fight that took the spot of Amanda Nunes challenging Kayla Harrison. Natalia Silva taking on Thug Rose Namajunas. To be honest with you, Connor, I don't really have too much on this fight. I am not a Thug Rose believer. That is very personal. It comes from me buying UFC 276, not going to Buffalo Wild Wings, obviously, because how else would you have watched them back in the day?
Exactly.
And just watching her and Carla Esparza have the dumbest MMA fight I've ever watched before in my life. And
Yeah.
ever since then, I haven't been a hater, but I don't really cheer for her anymore, if that makes sense. Like that fight left such a bad taste in my mouth because I was with a bunch of buddies who never really watched MMA before.
Oh man.
This was like one of their first times sitting down watching a card completely through, and that was right after Michael Chandler head kicked Tony Ferguson into oblivion. Like that. That was literally the fight that took place right after that. So I think I got to lean Natalia Silva. She is the betting favorite right now. But Connor, who you got in this flyweight fight?
See, my relationship with Rose is a lot different than yours. Rose is one of my favorites. She's been my favorite female fighter forever. I actually have a Thug Rose Namajunas t-shirt somewhere over there. I mean, she's one of my favorite fighters. I'm a believer in Rose just because I like Rose. I watch her fight now, and it's not like I don't watch her and be like, wow, she's gonna win the title. I know that's not gonna happen. I know it's not gonna happen again. She had her great run at Strawweight when she beat Zhang Weili twice and stuff, and Joanna and all that stuff she had back then. But now, obviously, not the same. She's 14-7 right now. She is coming off a win over Miranda Maverick, a decision, and obviously she lost to Blanchwood before that. She's got the Cortez win, the Rebos win. She's good at beating. How do I want to explain this? Like the top 5 up, she struggles, but anything under, she can handle. It seems to what it be every time. Like that next level, she can't quite hit anymore, I feel. So out of just pure love for Rose, I'm picking Rose to win a decision over Natalia Silva. Yeah, why not? I'm gonna run with it.
You're killing me, bro. You're killing me here.
Like you said, we've agreed. We've agreed a lot, so I'm gonna rock with Rose. I've been a Rose fan forever. I'm rocking with Rose to get it done.
Hey, I respect the commitment there for sure, But moving up to the big boys, rising prospect Waldo Cortez Acosta. They call him the Salsa Boy. Hell of a nickname. I'm buying that T-shirt. Going up against the Black Beast Derek Lewis, holder of the most knockouts record in UFC history. Connor, these are two big guys in there slinging some leather, man. Who you got?
I love this fight. I think, obviously, we know Derek Lewis can put anybody out, but kind of what I was bringing up with Rose, same thing with Derek Lewis. You get this guy the next level, the top guys, never usually goes his way. But like he talks about it all the time. He's like, keep giving me them taxi cab drivers because he'll knock them dudes out all day long. Waldo Cortez Acosta is the exact opposite of a taxi cab driver. This dude is very legit as it gets. I mean, he's coming off a win over Shamil Gaziev with a knockout. He had another knockout before that. His only loss in his last 5 is to Sergey Pavlovich, who was a former title challenger, who also had crazy knockout power, didn't get knocked out by Pavlovich. I'm going with Cortez Acosta to beat Derek Lewis. I think he gets it done. I don't think he'll knock out Derek Lewis. I think if he gets it done, it'll be a decision, or they start getting to the ground. These big boys get a little tired. They start rolling around on the ground. Lewis's neck gets exposed, gets caught in like a rear naked. Nothing crazy. I'm not expecting Cortez to pull out, a ninja choke like we were just talking about, but I could see him, catching some kind of rear naked choke or something on the back like that. But I do believe he'll get it done. He's really good keeping his distance, and I think he'll keep his distance well and stay out of range of Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis will start blitzing in with some shots. I can see Cortez taking advantage, clinching him up, maybe tripping him down, landing some shots to the body, getting a real methodical win over Derek Lewis.
It is worth mentioning as well, in my opinion, that Waldo Cortez Acosta fought 5 times last year.
Yes.
Super, super active, which, especially at heavyweight, you don't see guys fight 5 times a year.
No.
That just doesn't happen. And he is a little bit older than I thought he was, to be honest. I thought he was more 30, 31, but he's 34. Yeah. Derek Lewis is 40, which breaks the first rule of fighting is don't be over 40. So give me Waldo Cortez Acosta. I'm going to go ahead and give him the edge, though. I say I'll finish him. Derek's been in a lot of wars, man. He's taking a lot of damage. Like I said, he's on the wrong side of 40 now. Love the guy's interviews. Will forever be a Derek Lewis fan, but this Saturday I'm going to go with Waldo Cortez Acosta. Which brings us to the co-main event of the evening. Love this fight, by the way. This is another good one. Sugar Sean O'Malley, former bantamweight champion, taking on the Kung Fu Kid, Song Yadong. This is a good fight, man. I'm really excited for this. Obviously, everybody knows, even not, I'll say casual MMA fans, like guys who will just watch it if it's on, you know who Sean O'Malley is. Like, he's out there. You see the hair, you see the face tats, former champ. That's definitely a name people are going to recognize. And I've been watching Song Yadong for a long time, and it almost seems like he's a Thug Rose type character, right? Like, he'll fight his way up, he'll beat guys ranked, let's say 7 or lower. Yeah. But whenever he gets up to that next level, outside of his last fight, he's just kind of fallen short. But he is coming off of a win over Henry Cejudo. That was his last fight. So Connor, who do you have here? This is 2 very, very different careers, I feel like, just with the way the UFC's marketed them, the way they've kind of marketed themselves, and the way that fights have gone. What do you have in this one?
I'm a big fan of both guys. I love watching them. They're both super entertaining fighters, but I am leaning towards Sean O'Malley in this fight. I believe when it comes to the bantamweight division and striking, there's not a lot of people that can hang with Sean O'Malley. The stuff this guy does is very flashy, but very technical, very fast, very calculated. And Song Yadong, again, he's like great fighter in his own right. Like I said, he's coming off the decision win over Cejudo. There was a whole eye poke situation in that. But he's kind of one of them guys we talked about. When he hits that next level, that's where he kind of starts to struggle. He had that decision loss to Peter Yan, who's now the champ. He had the doctor stoppage from the cut against Corey Sandhagen. But he beat guys like, Ricky Simone, Chris Gutierrez, guys like that are – there's these top guys. There's Song Yadong, and then there's all the guys Song Yadong beats. Every time he tries to hit that next level, he can't quite crack it yet, and I don't think Sean O'Malley is the guy for him to beat to crack it. I think, like I said, with the striking, not a lot of people can touch Sean O'Malley. He's been working a lot on his wrestling and his grappling. I believe this would be similar to O'Malley, Chito Vera, not as lopsided, but as in a stand-up battle that Sean O'Malley controls and wins by a decision, I feel.
I agree with that. I definitely also see this fight staying standing. And again, same thing. You're not going to see a whole lot of guys in any weight class really with more creative striking than Sean O'Malley. But it would be irresponsible for me to not bring this up. Sean O'Malley talked about retiring after his last fight. He's been kind of just hanging out, lives in Arizona. He's talked about potentially hanging it up if there's no clear path back to the title. So Connor, if he loses, do you think that this will be the last we see of Sean O'Malley?
The last, I don't know. If there's some big entertaining fights that could pop up for him, say, even if it's not the title and they give him a shot at something, I don't know, if they could find a fun money fight for him, I could see him doing something like that. I mean, he's got a ton of money. He's very promotable. He's promoted himself well, made a bunch of money. So I don't think it's one of them situations where he doesn't need to fight, kind of that Conor McGregor situation after he made all his money. He didn't really need it. So we're going to really see if his heart's in it or not, especially in a fight like this, which is kind of to drop off from his last, 4 fights have all been title fights. So now he's got to fight someone that's not a champion, never challenged for the belt. So let's see if he's, is he going to focus in on it, or is he going to kind of be like, I'm going to get past this dude? Because he's hoping to get a Peter Yan rematch because he beat Peter Yan quotation marks there. He beat Peter Yan in their first fight. So, he's going to be eyeing for that championship fight, which I know the UFC would love to do that if Sean O'Malley wins this fight. They would love to book Yan O'Malley too. So I think this is obviously a must-win fight for him. If he loses it, first of all, that's huge for Song Yadong to win that fight against Sean O'Malley. That'd be huge for him. But I don't know if I would say it's necessarily the end for him. I think it would be a while before we would see him again. Something would have to pull him out of the luxury to get him to come back in there. But I don't know if I would necessarily think it'd be the last one that he would have.
You hear the phrase a lot. It's hard to get out of bed and run in silk sheets.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of think that that's the scenario we found ourselves in with Sean O'Malley. Even if he does lose, which, again, I don't think he will, but if he were to drop this fight and, hey, I'm retiring, it's been fun, see ya. Every popular fighter retires at least once. Connor's retired like 185 times. You see it with even on the boxing side. Tyson Fury announced that he was stopping, and I've seen nothing but videos of him training this week. Oh, I'm gonna get back in. I'm getting my belts back. So even if he does quote unquote retire, I don't think we'll see the last of Sean O'Malley after this.
Yeah, they can't stay away.
No, definitely not.
Maybe even some fun fights at if they could find him a fun fight at 45. I know he's not that. I know he's a lean, skinny guy, but if there's some fun fights that he would be like, man, I would love to fight that guy at 145. I could see him doing that. Having some fun fights up there. So, I think there's a lot of options on the table. It's just a matter of does he want to go and do them if there's no title on the line.
I don't ever see him as long as Sean O'Malley fights, in my opinion, we're never going to see him in less than a 5-round fight.
Yeah.
He will never, his name means too much. He will never less than co-main.
Yeah.
And I agree. I could see him, if you gave him some time, maybe seeing him jump up to 45 just for a fun fight, for a money fight. But we are here. We made it. UFC Interim Lightweight Championship of the World. The highlight, Justin Gaethje, one of the most exciting fighters in the history of the UFC, taking on Paddy the Baddy Pimblett, rising prospect from the UK. Connor, go ahead and lead us off here, man.
I got a lot to say about this fight, and I'm probably going to upset a lot of people with everything I say about this fight. I hate everything
Good
about
start.
it. I hate interim titles. They should not happen. I don't like interim titles. If you're the champ, you either defend your belt. If you can't defend it, relinquish it. That's how I think it should be all the time. Now, getting into the guys into the fight. Justin Gaethje. Yes, we all love Justin Gaethje. He's super entertaining. Justin Gaethje does not deserve a title shot over the other guys in this division. He beat Rafael Fiziev, cool. Before that, gets knocked out by Max Holloway, the crazy knockout, in a fight that he was absolutely losing up to that point. Was not winning that fight.
Oh, yeah, he got dominated.
Yeah.
I was so angry watching that fight because I was like, oh, it'll be fine. I'm a big, you see the poster, I'm a big Max Holloway guy. I was like, dude, he's just going to get leg kicked into oblivion. Like that's what's going to happen here. And then it didn't happen, and Max pieced him up literally the entire time until he knocked him out.
Yeah, to keep this rank, I'm going to pull up the UFC rankings real fast because I'm going to get real deep on this because I got some points. So first, that he came off that loss. He has the head kick over Dustin Poirier, cool, which he was already split with Dustin. Dustin beat him once already. Again, beats Rafael Fiziev. Gets rear naked choked in the first round by Charles. Beat Michael Chandler. I think Michael Chandler sucks, so I don't care about that at all. And then obviously
fun fight though.
Yeah. And then lost a triangle to Habib, and then beat Tony Ferguson to start the downfall of Tony Ferguson. So
changed
I
Tony
think
Ferguson's life.
Yeah, he did. So that's I don't think he deserves a title shot over guys. He's ranked number 4. Above him, number 3, Max Holloway. Beat the crap out of him and knocked him out. That guy deserves it more. Number 1, Arman Tsarukyan. How are you having any type of lightweight title, anything, without Arman Tsarukyan in the fight? That is so stupid. Makes no sense to me at all. And if you look at the guys on this list too, he's already lost to Charles, who's ranked 2. Arman would beat Justin Gaethje. Max Holloway beat Justin Gaethje. He's about to fight Paddy, who's 5. 6 is Dan Hooker. That's a fun fight. He could maybe win that one. I would pick him to win that one. Mateus Gamrot, could totally see him taking down Justin Gaethje and smothering him on the ground. That's a tough fight for him. Benoit Saint-Denis would be a fun fight for him. The striking would be fun, but Benoit can grapple. It would be a fun fight. I could see Gaethje winning that. He's beaten Fiziev, and then the guys under that, Michael Chandler, Beneil Dariush, Moicano, are all older guys. But that being said, I don't think he's number 4 ranked. I think he would lose to Ilya. He would lose to Arman. He's already lost to Charles. He's already lost to Max. And then some of the guys I said he could beat are up in the air toss-ups, I feel. So I don't think Justin, he's entertaining, but is he really that good? Because he doesn't mix up a lot of the stuff that he's good at. He was a wrestler. He started out like he wrestled growing up, never uses his wrestling, just sticks to wild, throwing crazy wild punches all the time. I don't think he deserves a title shot. I think he cried his way into the title shot because he told Dana, if I don't get the title shot, I'm retiring. I would have been like, cool, retire, dude, is what I would have said. But that's the Gaethje side of this. Let's go to the Paddy side, which doesn't get any better. Pat, to get to the title, I told you I'm going in here. To get to the title, beats Jordan Levitt. Who cares? Beats Jared Gordon in a fight that he absolutely lost. He should have lost that fight. Yeah, that fight, horrible. Beats Tony Ferguson, who was already on his downfall by decision. He got gassed out in the fight against Tony Ferguson. Beats King Green. Everybody beats King Green. And then beats Michael Chandler, who again, I think sucks. And that's how. And now he's getting a title shot, an interim title shot against Justin Gaethje. I don't like that. He's ranked number 5. Number 3 is Max Holloway. He would lose to Max Holloway. Number 2 is Charles Oliveira. I think Paddy is just a worse version of Charles Oliveira. They fight the same way, but Charles does everything a little bit better. I think he loses to Charles. Arman Tsarukyan beats Paddy Pimblett. Ilya Topuria knocks him out. I think all these guys ranked above him would beat him, and arguably you could say deserves a title shot more besides Charles, obviously just losing to Ilya. I don't think both these guys don't deserve a shot. I don't think their resumes are good enough right now. Gaethje, he's a legend, cool, whatever, but he hasn't done enough lately to give himself a title shot over guys like Arman Tsarukyan, which I think is, again, how are you having a lightweight title fight without Arman Tsarukyan? Makes zero sense to me. He should be in there over one of these guys. I don't care which one you kick out. Kick Paddy out, make it Arman versus Gaethje. Arman wins. Kick Gaethje out, Arman versus Paddy. Arman wins. It doesn't matter. Arman would beat both of these guys. I don't like interim titles. I don't like that both of these two are the ones fighting for the interim title. In a perfect world, if they're going to do the interim title and nothing else was booked, I would say you would book Arman Tsarukyan versus Max Holloway. Is the only thing I could logically think of, just based off the lightweight rankings. Lightweight's in a weird spot right now because Ilya's he's got the belt, but he's not defending it because he's got all this stuff going on in his personal life. And then you got guys that have been up there before, like Gaethje's been there multiple times. Charles has been there multiple times. Max has been up there. So it's kind of like, do we, rerun this stuff again? I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to get Paddy in there. He's promotable. But on the fight side of things, I don't like this fight at all. That being said, I'm picking Paddy Pimblett to beat Justin Gaethje. How's he get it done? I don't know. I mean, I think he has the ability to submit Justin Gaethje if he really wants to. Paddy's very underrated on the ground, has great ground game, but he does get taken down a lot. But we talked about Justin Gaethje. He doesn't care to wrestle anymore. So I think all Gaethje has is his striking, and it's very wild striking. I think Paddy will struggle a little bit at the beginning, getting used to that awkward style, them crazy leg kicks of Justin Gaethje, them whipping them overhands over top is going to be a little weird. But I think Paddy will eventually figure it out, start landing some shots of his own, maybe even get Justin up against the cage, end up taking his back, some type of rear naked choke or anything from there. I know I just crapped all over this fight, but it's going to be a fun fight nonetheless. Paddy versus Justin Gaethje, I mean, that's going to be fun no matter what. The winner of that, I'm assuming, obviously you would run him versus Ilya, while poor Arman sits there and watches all of it, not getting involved. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the main event. I hate it, but at the same time, it's going to be super fun. And I'm picking Paddy to be the new interim champion, not the real champion. And he would get knocked out by Ilya. I'm just throwing that out there right now.
This is a classic example of politics in MMA, right?
Yes.
You have a guy who's in Justin Gaethje, been around a long time, done a lot for the company. At the same time, though, he's only fought 4 times since 2023. Fought twice in 2023 and then fought once in 2024 and 2025. I'm with you, man. I don't see how you can give him a title shot without him crying about it.
Exactly.
But at the same time, Paddy had a great performance against Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler doing Michael Chandler things aside, that is the kind of performance you want to see against a guy like that, right? Like you want your guy to be like, all right, I'm gonna take you down, beat you up, control the entire fight, that kind of thing. I kind of get that. I'm with you though. I just don't see how you can leave Arman Sarukian out there.
makes no
Don't piss Dana White off, I guess. Like that. That is genuinely the only reason that this fight is not happening.
Yeah, that's
for those
all
of
it
you
is.
who might not understand, he had to pull out of a fight. I think the day before, right? He was supposed to fight Islam Makhachev. Had some
Honestly,
back problems.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think it was the day before.
It's
I'm
like
pretty
day
sure.
before, literally morning of. Like it was crazy late. How? Yeah.
I think he even weighed in and pulled out after weigh-ins.
That's what I'm saying.
pretty
So there's
sure.
a chance, yeah, that it could have been. It literally could have been that night of weigh-ins or something. Like it was stupid.
So they bumped Renato Moicano up to fight Islam. All due respect, man, but there is levels to this game. That was never going to be a fight, and I feel like Dana's just going to hold a grudge against him forever. He needs to get in there and get a wild finish. He did just beat Dan Hooker, which
He beat the
congratulations,
crap
man,
out of Dan Hooker too.
Yeah, Dan Hooker can't wrestle either. Like, you know what I mean? I looked at that fight and I was like, guys,
That's why.
come on.
That's exactly who Justin Gaethje should be fighting is Dan Hooker. Two guys that don't want to do
Yes.
anything but get punched in the face and punch each other in the face. They're not. Those guys should be fighting. They shouldn't be fighting for titles. Those guys should just be fighting each other on like a co-main event somewhere to have a super entertaining fight.
Yes, you give them both a bunch of money. You have that one be the co-main to maybe you honestly you could get away with a main event for that though, especially if they're going to try and store champions right now for the White House show. You could get away with making that a main event.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I am also I gotta go with Patty Pimblett, and I hate saying that because there is 100% a world where Patty holds his chin up and just gets chinned by a dude who throws a right hand from hell. There's absolutely a world where that happens. But with that being said, I just don't see it happening. I think Patty will probably take him down, beat him up, lay on top, probably get a finish in the 4th or 5th round, if I had to guess.
I like
the
that,
UFC will have their British champion who's actually fighting because Tom Aspinall's out right now.
I do agree on a finish. I do believe Patty finished, and I do like the late round aspect, 4th, 5th round, maybe even late 3rd, but I would like 4th, 5th round. Both guys are just absolutely exhausted, throwing the sloppiest punches ever. I'm sure it's going to be happening at that point. Patty will just eventually overwhelm Gaethje with what energy he's got left and get himself a TKO and become the interim champ, and then you'll have some funny call out for Ilya, I'm assuming.
Oh, for sure. And that will be the end of the first show on Paramount. Looking forward to it. This coming weekend, it's at 9 p.m. your guys' time now, which is kind of nice. We're dogging it on the East. It's 3 a.m.
Oh, God.
I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet because for Holloway Poirier, I just woke up at 4. I was like, you know what? We'll figure out the prelims later. I woke up at 4, watched the main card. Here, 4, I feel like you can get away with kind of sleeping through the night and then getting up early. 3, though, like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I don't know if I'm going to make it to 3. I might just have to split it up again.
Yeah, because this is a card you want to watch everything. Like, these prelims are really good.
Exactly. Like they're doing a good job with kicking off Paramount well.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to see what comes of this card. But moving forward to the local scene here, Connor, you guys got some stuff coming up, man. Why don't you enlighten all of our viewers on what's going around in the Ohio regional scene?
Yeah, so I got some teammates competing actually January 30th first on Friday. I got some guys boxing. Good teammates of mine, Adam Harris, Simon Latif, and then obviously Justin Seipel will be boxing against Bryson Jones for a boxing title. That fight is going to be absolutely incredible. That'll be in Fostoria on January 30th, that Friday. That's going to be super entertaining. And then the 31st, I believe I'll be back on commentary for Ego Fight Series. Loaded fights on there. There's a welterweight title fight between Gabriel Harris and Aaron Mock to be the first ever Ego welterweight champion. That'll be good. A bunch of teammates of mine as well fighting on there. Guys like Dylan Carnes will be on there, Emily Adkins, Jackson Shiverdecker, Who else? Jack Chappie's on there. Let me look at my board. It's back here. Zach Burrows will be on there. Anthony Swartz will be on there. Bunch of great teammates of mine. Great fights. It's going to be a good time. That'll be in Piqua, Ohio, my hometown, at the Piqua Center. It's going to be a great time, so make sure you come out to that. And then, of course, February 21st, American Fight Promotions in Newark, Ohio. I will be fighting once again, back down to 125 pounds, taking on Joshua Caban. He's like the number 3 ranked flyweight in Pennsylvania, I believe. Top 15 in Ohio. He's coming off a title fight. A great wrestling background, great jiu-jitsu background. Everybody says I can't beat wrestlers, so I'm going to fight another one and beat a wrestler just to show everybody that I can do it. So I'm excited for that fight. I've been training hard. I'm in the best shape of my life. I put on so much size, muscle, strength, and just gotten so much better since my last fight. My last fight was a real eye-opener for me, so switched a lot of things around, and I'm ready to get back into it and start the year off good.
Definitely looking forward to it, man. American Fight Promotions has done a really good job so far. They just announced that Jimmy Sandlin will be coming back on that show. He's got a new opponent now.
Yes.
But Jimmy's a lot of fun to watch. I'm very, very excited to see what happens next with his next fight.
They actually just booked Chance Cox versus Deacon Salchuk same night.
I saw that today. Deacon Salchuk back in action.
Name. Yep.
Yes. For those of you who might not know what I'm talking about, go look up Deacon Salchuk on Carnage Media, man. That guy has a wild knockout and then a contender, in my opinion, for Fight of the Year.
100%.
Our last show in Sandusky, Ohio, Carnage Fight Series 5.
Yeah. And Chance Cox is 2-1 as well. So 2-1 versus 2-1. Chance has a knockout and a submission win. So both guys, really good fighters. It's going to be a great fight. I'm excited for that one too.
Definitely a lot to look forward to here on the Ohio regional scene. But with that being said, Connor, I think our time has come to an end. The floor is yours, my friend.
As always, I want you guys, every time we post, check out what we're talking about, whether it's local MMA, the UFC. We'll talk about some boxing, what's in the news, maybe some WWE stuff every now and then. We're talking about everything, anything and everything. So make sure you check us out every chance you get. Follow all the social medias for Carnage on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. And then for me personally, you can follow me on Instagram at i.am_Connor Smith. And of course, like I said, February 21st, American Fight Promotions, Newark, Ohio, Cherry Valley Hotel. I'll be taking on Joshua Caban, 125 pounds. It will be my 10th amateur MMA fight. So if you can make it to that, buy some tickets, check that out, or buy the pay-per-view. It's going to be a great show, and I'm going to put on a great performance.
Absolutely. Once again, just follow us on all our social medias at Carnage Media Pay-Per-View. We're always uploading new shorts. Make sure to watch out for our next card here at Carnage Media. We have Carnage Fight Series Ring Wars 2. That will be on Valentine's Day. So, gentlemen, I promise, there's nothing that your girlfriend wants more than to go watch some amateur kickboxing and pro boxing. We got a lot of great names on there. Quentin Richards is going to be on that card. Dylan Budka, former UFC middleweight, taking on, I believe it's something Riviera.
I think so. I
can't
remember.
But I believe he is headlining the show. Got a couple of great fights on that card. And then we are looking at doing another MMA show, Carnage Fight Series 6 in March. So make sure to stay tuned. And go check out CarnageMediaPayPerView.com. Kev has been doing a great job at getting some new articles up. Definitely worth a view. So go find yourself at CarnageMedia.com. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at cscalina12. And if you guys want to fight on Carnage Fight Series, hit us up, man. We're always looking for new talent to bring in and let you showcase your skills. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you all next week.